What is up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Welcome to Geek Alley and a last call. Tonight I'm doing my last call a little bit differently. Normally, my last calls are just me by myself, getting my thoughts out. Tonight I brought with me Andre the Game Idea Guy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm in a in a good-ish mood.
Okay, if you can tell by the title, at first I was not going to talk about this. I had planned to not speak on this because too many people are too sensitive about this, and but today something pissed me off. And normally I try to keep my podcast and my discussions PG-13 at the most. So I'm giving y'all fair warning. Please don't let your kids hear this because tonight we're going to rate it off. Fuck them social justice warriors. And I'm saying it right now. Y'all are not going to like me after this. I don't give a damn
Oh man.
because some of y'all need to be put in your damn place.
We both were a part of the same conversation that has led to this.
Yeah, and this isn't me like coming down on you for having a viewpoint. I don't mind that you have a viewpoint. I really don't. It's when you don't know what the hell you're talking about is when I have a problem with your viewpoint. It's when you don't know anything about the character or property that you say and you swear you love that I have a problem with you. Now I'm not one of those guys that geek shame people and be like, oh, well, you don't know what happened in 1975 in September in issue number 185 on page 13. I'm not one of those guys. All right. But when you don't know general knowledge stuff, that tends to upset me, especially when you claim you are a fan of something. If I am a fan of Legend of Zelda, people that know me can pretty much ask me a question about Legend of Zelda. I usually have an answer for it. Andre, am I lying?
That's pretty much true.
Okay, so I am a fan of Iron Fist. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm a fan of Power Man and Iron Fist, or Heroes for Hire when they're together. I actually enjoy that comic. Matter of fact, that's my favorite comic out right now. I'm kind of mad that it's getting canceled, but it is what it is. We know how these things go in the comic book world. But everybody knows about Iron Fist. It drops tomorrow on Netflix. It's the last Defender before they do the Defenders series, and it has been getting a beating in the critic reviews. So I made a post sharing the I Am Danny featurette on YouTube, saying that basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't really care what the critics say. I'm going to enjoy this series because it seems to be a fun series, and I'm already invested in the Marvel Netflix universe. I've watched all of them, and I'm invested in it. And we got into a discussion. I'm not gonna say the guy's name because I don't know who he is, but he wanted to basically defend the idea that Danny Rand should have been cast as an Asian American. As an African American male, I understand about representation because there hasn't been a lot of good representation for African Americans or African American males, period, in media. We're usually gang banging thugs, wife beating cheaters, who all we want to do is drink and
Shoot up shit.
yeah, shoot up shit. Like we are supposed to be the animals, basically. That's usually how we're portrayed in media and in entertainment. You can tell every time there's something negative that involves somebody African American, it gets blown out of proportion with the quickness to a point that makes no sense because that's how we are viewed. I hate it. I hate it with a passion, but that's pretty much how we view. So I understand about representation. I understand how you want to have positive images of people in your media and things of that nature. Now, the problem that I have with this is I hate when people want to force their representation on other people, and to the point where it's basically pandering.
Yeah.
Pandering doesn't help anybody. It doesn't.
Ba- Basically, Danny Rand is a Caucasian American or an Asian American or even a Black or Hispanic American. If it's the exact same character, then there's no point in changing the race.
No point at all. And Andre, you brought up the point of during when we had that discussion with he who shall not be named, um about what they did with Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Thor, and a lot of people, because I remember back when they first did it, I did a blog post about it, and I was telling people like, people read the story, because I was actually following Thor and I was actually following Captain America at the time. At the time, Steve Rogers got his super soldier serum drained out of him. He was an old man.
He was old.
He couldn't do it anymore. He gave the shield to his best friend, who was who?
Falcon.
Sam Wilson. Falcon.
Sam Wilson. Yeah.
They did not turn Steve Rogers black. He did not get hit with a Dr. Funkenstein ray. He just passed the shield on. That was not pandering. That was actually a decent story, because the story was actually good. It's better than that bullshit they got him doing now. But that was actually good. In Thor became unworthy. He couldn't even pick up the damn hammer. Man. Yeah, he couldn't pick the hammer up. So, and this is by now you should know it, so this ain't no spoiler alert, but Jane picks the hammer up and she becomes the female Thor. If you read the story, you would have known that. Thor didn't decide to go, Thor didn't have a crisis of conscience and decide to go have a sex change operation. He was unworthy. He literally could not pick up Mjolnir.
I don't know exactly what he did because I didn't see that story, but he did.
He messed up pretty bad. Yeah, he still hasn't picked it up. So that's the thing. That to me is that is a nice progression. Nothing wrong with it.
That's kind of why Thor has disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah, and here's the thing: what people are suggesting, and the person we was talking to this morning isn't the only one that's suggesting this. Basically, just changing the character Asian. Now, there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I don't think this should ever happen, especially with Danny Rand. Period, is because some people like to bring up the whole billionaire white savior trope. Number one, that couldn't be further from the truth if you know the character. If you know the character, you know that that's not true. Backstory: in the original comic, Danny and his mother, father, and the dad's business partner, Harold Meacham, go on a trip to the Himalayas because they were trying to find the mystical city of Kunlun. Harold Meacham, in love with Danny's mother, decides to kill the father and profess his love for the mother. The mother then is like, "The hell is wrong with you? That ain't how this works." I'm paraphrasing, of course. So he says, "Okay, chick, I'm done with you." Tries to kill them. She pretty much has to turn into Liam Neeson and fight a pack of wolves. Of course, she dies. And to save Danny, she cuts the cords to the bridge, to the suspension bridge they were on, and he gets pretty much left in the Himalayas. He is found. He does not, go into Kunlun and just start doing kung fu. It doesn't work like that. He's ostracized. They don't even like him. He's not even supposed to be the Iron Fist. They don't want him there. It's broken down that they do not want him there. 10 years later, he comes back after going through the training, because he does have a couple of people who do see potential in him. He comes back. Because originally the only reason why he left Kunlun was because he wanted revenge on Harold Meacham. Coming back to the States, now this is the original one, he finds Harold, but Harold had had a messed up time, because after he tried to kill the mom, he gets trapped in the Himalayas, and when they find him, he's frostbitten so much that they had to amputate his legs. So when he goes back to get him, he's just like too pathetic for him to eat. He won't kill him. Harold wants him to kill him, but he won't kill him. That's how the original origin goes. So for all of you people saying he's a billionaire like Bruce Wayne, Reed Richards, Oliver Queen, Charles Xavier, he couldn't be further from that. Danny is probably one of the few billionaires in comics that will go to the hood. Period. Half the time when you read a Iron Fist comic or a Power Man and Iron Fist comic or a Heroes for Hire comic, you forget Danny is a billionaire.
Yeah, because he doesn't act like one.
He doesn't act like he's not a womanizer like Tony Stark. And people in the streets know him. They know him. Now, another thing that a lot of people are failing to mention when they say that he should be recast as an Asian American is the fact that you talk about racial issues in America as it stands. Danny being white is very important because his brother, his big brother, is who?
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Luke Cage is from the streets, have been wrongfully incarcerated, all of that. You got to remember, when Danny comes back from Kunlun, he doesn't realize what has happened over the 10 years he was gone. He don't. He doesn't know what the real world is like. Who helps him with that and through that? Luke does. They become best friends / brothers. As a matter of fact, Luke names his daughter after him.
Because they got so tight with each other.
Yeah. So if you say, okay, well, we want this to show, what was the word that was used today? I forgot the word that was used today. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't bring up the relationship between him and Luke, I'm ignoring you right then. Because that is a very important and integral part of the story. You can't deny that. You can't sweep it under the rug. You can't say it doesn't exist, because in the comics that exists. Even when they did Redemption and Rage, when Corey Andrews did that one, that 12-issue series, guess who shows up at the end? His big brother, Luke Cage. Okay, you can't separate that. So you want him to be that, but then you kill the whole entire, relationship. Now, before you even say, well, they can build a new relationship if he was Asian, it wouldn't work the same.
No, it really doesn't, because more or less, it's the essence of the character is built into who they are, and who they are is every aspect of each individual character. So changing Danny Rand from being the curious Caucasian male he is and making him Asian, you have a whole different set of thought processes and ideas that you have to deal with. You can't just go ahead and, we're going to just change him into this and make him exactly the same. People would, one, be confused by that, two, infuriated by it, and three, you then make this a token character,
which everybody hates,
which is what people complain about not wanting.
Yes, but for some reason, that's exactly what you guys claim to want now. I find that hypocritical and ironic.
It's a little bit more than both of those things.
Yeah. So you say that's what you want, but and here's the thing: we don't know who all is going to show up in that series. Matter of fact, there are a lot of Asian characters, and you brought it up, and I'm so glad you did.
Because of all of the Asian characters that Marvel has.
They do, and it amazes me that people who swear up and down they know this stuff don't know who Shang-Chi is.
I'm like, how do you not know who Sunfire is, or Silver Samurai? Those are like the two most prominent.
Silver Samurai is probably one of the most famous simply because him and Wolverine's animosity toward each other. They have fought on multiple occasions.
And Big Hero 6.
No, it's not the same Silver Samurai that Silver Samurai Gundam that was in the Wolverine. That is not Silver Samurai. If all you going off of is the movies, do not ever come at me about a character from a comic. Please don't. Just don't do it. Just do not do it, because that's what happened today. He didn't know who Silver Samurai was.
Didn't know who Sunfire was.
Gundam Silver Samurai from the Wolverine movie.
I'm like, and then we brought up the thing of Wolverine going to Japan and learning about Japanese culture and learning the way of the samurai. Why is nobody mad at that? But they're mad that Danny Rand got stranded and ended up learning kung fu and becoming the Iron Fist.
Why didn't nobody get mad at Matt Murdock for pretty much learning ninjutsu?
There's no reason.
Did I say that out loud?
There's no reason to. Like, you got a blind ninja beating people.
Oh, so basically it's all right because he's blind. My bad. I totally forgot that he's blind. My
Like,
bad. I'm sorry.
he's got to be crippled if he's gonna be white. That don't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. That does not make any sense. You can't use that argument of, oh well, he appropriated this culture. What, he couldn't just learn it?
But he couldn't have been interested in
learn it. I mean, y'all didn't have a problem with Daredevil.
That's the odd thing. Like, nobody had a problem with Daredevil. No, again, nobody has a problem with Wolverine. Wolverine was born in Canada.
Yeah, Wolverine is not Australian, by the way. If you read the comics, he's not 6'3" either. He's actually 5'8", 5'6".
He is short as hell.
That's semantics. But just for y'all that don't, just for y'all that do not read comics, because y'all used to make fun of people who read comics back when y'all was in school. So now that is the hot thing to do, you gotta just watch the movies. So,
and still don't know anything about the characters.
Yeah. And yes, I am upset with people like you. If you are one of those people, yes, I'm talking about you. If you are one of those people, I am talking about you. There is Google. We live in an information age. You have no excuse.
Hell, Marvel has all this information on their websites.
Yes, you have no excuse for not knowing. If you want, like I said before, I understand where you're coming from. I just think going after a series and going after a character you literally know very little about, but claiming you know everything about, is not the right way to do it. It's just not. And what further pisses me off is the fact that he didn't know that Jessica Henwick's character is Colleen Wing. Who is Colleen Wing? Danny's partner. She's actually a very well-known character in Marvel Comics. She's Misty Knight's best friend. She's a daughter of the Dragon. Y'all don't know about them, do you? Yeah, they're a private eye firm. But she's in there, and Jessica Henwick looks to me like she's going to be doing a great job. So I don't hear y'all complaining about that. They got that right. Why y'all ain't mad about that?
No. This particular problem was, why have her instead of a bunch of other Iron Fists? And it's not going to make a whole lot of sense when you try to make Iron Fist look like the Green Lantern Corps. Well,
first of all, and I'm glad you brought that up, because number one, you don't need to go into all those Iron Fists, because one, you can't use the Iron Fist that fought the Phoenix, because that's an X-Men property.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, you want to use that one? Nah, you can't use it. That's an X-Men property. Well, no, it's not an X-Men property. That's a Marvel property. Fox has the rights over the mutants and the X-Men stories. And guess what's a prominent part of the X-Men canon and lore? The Phoenix. So yes, you did have an Iron Fist that did fight a Phoenix. They talked about it extensively in Avengers vs. X-Men in 2011.
But it can't be done. It cannot be put on the big screen.
That will never be there. They can't talk about it. Yes, there have been other Iron Fists. Matter of fact, there was another white Iron Fist named I think his name was Orson Randall, I think was his name.
I honestly don't remember.
He was, I want to say he was one of the previous Iron Fists that Danny Rand actually meets. But I bet you
wasn't there another one that was an Iron Fist that Danny ends up fighting? Was that him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, I understand where you're coming from. If you're trying to say, okay, you want more Asian American Asian actor representation, but my thing is there are plenty of Asian characters actually in the Marvel universe that's not being utilized at this time. And honestly,
a lot of them can't be utilized.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know if they're being used or not, because we don't know anything about the back half of Iron Fist, which I've heard from various interviews that it's loaded with characters. So we don't know if Shang-Chi's going to show up or not. We don't know if some of these other Iron Fists are going to show up or not. We don't know. You want to know why? Because every critic only saw the first 6 episodes. That's like watching half a movie and saying, you know what, I didn't understand where the plot was going. This movie is trash. But did you watch the whole thing? No, I only watched half of it.
Wait, but this one character stuck out to me, even though this character is who they should be. I'm going to be mad about that.
I'm going to be mad about that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go after him on Twitter.
Now, damn it, I'm keeping forgetting his name. What was his name? The actor.
Finn Jones.
Yeah. Now he didn't help the situation.
He did not. He should have just. This is one of the times where sometimes silence is the best alternative. I understand he had to defend himself to an extent because he is, you know, he got hired for a job.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at him for wanting to say, "Hey, look, just give it a chance." But he should have just been like, "Give the series a chance and let it speak for itself." That's where he should have stopped right there.
Yeah, he should have never went any deeper than that. But
he shouldn't have went into the whole Donald Trump thing. That just that did not help.
Yeah, that was a can of worms that he just shouldn't have opened up. But the thing is, anybody that was getting mad at him for that, I'm like, okay, what you want the man to say? I shouldn't have got the job. Is that what you want him to say?
Like, to me, that means that he did that good of a job, and we know that the casting for the Netflix shows has been awesome.
Man, the casting for Marvel shows for Marvel stuff in general has been awesome.
Like, he has done an amazing job to get that character role. So I can't be mad at him.
Somebody had to think he was good enough.
And to me, honestly, he looks like he could be the character.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be younger. He's supposed to be like the youngest one out of all of them. He's supposed to be the Optimus, which makes sense. So, I mean, it's one thing to critique and criticize once you have seen it. It's a completely different thing when you haven't seen it and you're making demands and petitions and all this stuff. And then on top of that, you say you know the character, but it's proven that you don't when people ask you generalized stuff and you don't even know anything about it. You're going off stuff that was in movies and TV because you haven't read any of the source material. It makes you look bad. It does. And that's not somebody trying to geek shame you. That's just me being honest. It makes you look bad when you know literally nothing about the stuff you're talking about, but you want to sit up and talk and argue with people about it because you saw a movie or you saw a TV show.
Well, I am going to geek shame some people. Look, I honestly, I mean, as much as I love comics, I don't get to partake in them as much as I'd like. So my knowledge is a little off. But when I know more about characters that you more recently have seen than you do, there's an issue.
Especially if you're claiming you love this character.
Like, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not an Iron Fist fan. I like the character, but I'm not like I'm not deep in Iron Fist lore. I'm more of a Spider-Man dude. So, like, yeah. If I know more about a character that you love than you do, and I don't like him that much,
I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I like I said before, I understand if you're talking about representation. I really do. I'm not trying to, I'm not coming down on you if you're a social justice warrior
representation
or you one of those type people that love to start shit. I'm not coming down on you because of representation issues. That I will never, I won't go at you about that. But this idea that you want people to pander to you, and then because all you're gonna do when they do it, all you're gonna do is make you mad.
Yeah, because you just want to look at them like, well, this isn't what I wanted.
This isn't what I wanted, or the story's stupid, or then you'll say, well, they did that on purpose. No, they didn't. They gave you exactly what you wanted.
You said you wanted an Asian Danny Rand, and you got that. Then you would be happy about it.
I don't like it when they do it with black characters. I hate when they do that mess. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Why? Because number one, it doesn't seem authentic.
It isn't.
It just doesn't. And two, you know, I hate stuff that's pandering. I hate that. So I would rather them just make a new character than make Wolverine black.
Oh gosh, that would.
Thank you.
I thought about that too.
Thank you.
I would not want a black Wolverine.
That just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. And I'm gonna be honest with you, using the excuse that you know, well, these comics came out back in the back in the day, and now we're more diverse. No, we're not more diverse. We was just as diverse then. Ain't that much has not changed. We were just as diverse then. It was just a different time period. And yes, they did make more. That they made the characters like they made them for reasons that they made them for. There has to be something about the character that you liked. I like Steve Rogers. I think he's Captain America. Does that mean I don't like Sam Wilson when he's bearing the shield? No. But I do like Cap. I do like Steve Rogers Cap. I don't hate the character. I don't think Steve Rogers should be black, or he should be, Latino, or he should be Asian. I like Steve Rogers because that's the way that character was done. I like him. I like what he stands for. He stands for the best of people. So I like that character. I like how his character is portrayed. I don't really want to see, Steve Rogers being black. That just, to me, that wouldn't work. It just doesn't. I wouldn't want to see James Rhodes, War Machine, as Latino. It just wouldn't work for me. I like some of the characters as they are. Now, if they want to make, different characters or pass the torch to some of these characters some of these characters to other characters that they make up, I'm all for that. But just changing it just to make a certain demographic happy because they're loud on the internet, a small demographic that's loud on the internet, I don't think that's right.
No. And then
I just don't think it's right. You can disagree with me. I really don't care. I just don't think it's right.
Then it demeans everything that goes into the character anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to know something interesting from the comic, guess who else becomes a Captain America? Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' child, Danielle Cage. She becomes Captain America. You want to know who gave her the shield? Steve Rogers. I bet y'all gonna hate that if they actually bring her to the MCU. Y'all probably not gonna like that. I'm betting.
Can't tell these same people that Spider-Man had a daughter.
Oh God, you can't tell them that. No.
That killed the Kingpin during the Old Man Logan run.
And God forbid if they bring Miles Morales to live action.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see that, but I know some people will probably lose their shit.
But at the same time, at that point, they gotta do the Peter Parker Dr. Octopus brain switch,
which would actually be funny. Because I can see that not going well for either character. But well, like I said, I do not like this idea that I'm going to be woke and politically correct, and I want this to change. And well, the stuff you want to change, while I understand where you're coming from, you're going about this the wrong way.
Completely.
Yeah, I mean, you're going about this really the wrong way. Because it's like this, and this is probably the best example I can give. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. I love the Lord of the Rings series. You will never hear coming out my mouth, man, I wish Aragorn was black. Why wasn't Legolas Latino?
That'd be weird. Just based on where the lore is supposed to be, that'd be kind of. I mean, it could happen, but it'd just be weird.
I mean, why wasn't Elrond Jamaican? I mean, the way some of y'all talk, this is valid, right?
Yeah,
that's valid, right?
Hell, let's go back.
When some of these conversations be going, but if I say that, people would have a heart attack, or they'd be ready to fight. No, they should not change that. How dare you? What's the difference? I mean,
let's go
I'm
back.
Not represented in those stories. I want to be represented in those stories. Why am I not represented in those stories? I need to start a petition to get that changed. You see where I'm going with this, people? Slippery slope. Now, if they make a sequel to that, which I hope they don't, because that I love the Lord of the Rings. That was perfection to me. So I don't want nobody to touch that. But if they were, then yeah, by all means, because the times we're living in now, it would be more accepted.
Go ahead and add some of those people in there. But
Yeah.
let's go back to Luke Cage for one moment.
Yeah,
because I brought this up in the conversation earlier. Like, if we're gonna make Danny Rand Asian, why can't we make Luke Cage white? Like, Luke Cage could have been a poor white dude that grew up in the hood down in the South.
Could have been from Kentucky.
Could have been treated the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
And could have been literally the same person, just white. Well, he wouldn't be the same person because he'd be white. Yeah. So he wouldn't be the same Luke Cage. He'd be a different one.
It wouldn't have the same effect.
No, it wouldn't. When he wore his outfit as Power Man, especially when they did the series, when he was shackled and chained and he had the headband on, it wouldn't have the same effect. It wouldn't mean the same thing.
Yeah, the afro just wouldn't look right either.
Really?
What? Valid concern.
I guess he would look like Carrot Top. Yes,
it would be a valid concern. I'm sorry.
Yeah, big muscular Carrot Top. That would be wrong.
And that's another thing. I honestly don't think people are thinking about that dynamic between Luke Cage and Danny. Luke and Danny have that dynamic because he doesn't. The way it's set up is actually perfect in and of itself, without people realizing it. Because, like I said, if you read that comic, you understand. Like, Luke actually kind of grounds him a little bit. Off of the simple fact
to say that Danny's a little aloof.
Yeah, he doesn't really know. So Luke actually grounds him in the fact that, look, man, I'm in reality here, okay? But once again, like I said, you would not know if you are mad because of the whole white savior billionaire trope. You don't know anything about Danny Rand as a character. This ain't Exodus Gods and Kings. This ain't that horrible movie that came out with freaking Gerard Butler as a freaking Egyptian.
I remember the movie, but I don't remember the name.
That atrocity. This ain't that. You know. You know what? Honestly, if y'all mad about this, why ain't y'all mad about Ghost in the Shell?
That's another good question.
If y'all mad about Danny Rand and him being white, why ain't y'all mad at Scarlett Johansson, who the character of Major actually has a Japanese freaking name, is known to be nationality of Japanese, and the reason why I can say that is if you go back and watch the Ghost in the Shell anime, they go out and point out who's everybody's nationality is.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, but Scarlett Johansson's in a skin tight outfit, so that overwrites everything.
Well,
we ain't gonna stop
complaining about it when she was Black Widow. So I mean,
yeah, look, it don't matter. We're gonna go see this movie because of that. Because if you noticed when they showed that trailer, the complaints stopped.
All
the complaints stopped.
Either way, I want the movie to be good because I want it to be true to the material. But yeah, I do think they had a better choice somewhere than Scarlett Johansson.
I'm sorry. I believe that should. Now, if you want to say that should have been an Asian actress, I'm behind you 100%. I am right there with you. We side by side, hand in hand. Because you know what? You are right. That is an Asian. That's an Asian character that they made Scarlett Johansson.
Because she was born in Japan, she grew up in Japan, she still lives and operates in Japan. I understand.
I once again, I will be side by side with you on that because that is who that character is. But I know why Hollywood did it. I know exactly why Hollywood did it.
Scarlet sells.
That's right. You're gonna go see her because you've seen her in the Marvel movies. She's Black Widow. You're gonna go see that. You're gonna see her because you've seen her in those rom-coms. You're gonna go see that movie because you know and recognize that face. But if they got somebody like Shang-Chi to play it, y'all don't know who that is, do you? Look it up. SHU space QI. Yeah, see, I like to actually watch Hong Kong movies. So they would have got her, or they would have got Zhang Ziyi, Grace Ip. I think those would have been better for Major than Scarlet, but you don't know who that is, do you? Hence why Hollywood did what they did. They went with a name that you recognize and know. Personally, I think it's wrong. I think that's wrong. I'm sorry. I just think that is wrong. It shouldn't be, because I wouldn't have a problem if the character's name was, not, Makoto Kusanagi. If the character's name was, I can't even say Martha because Batman vs Superman jokes just keep running in my head.
No.
But if her name was Melissa, okay, fine. I got you. I can understand if she was operating on a world stage or something like that. Okay, fine. I can give you that. But no, the character's name is Makoto Kusanagi. She's in Japan. She's Japanese. They break this down in the actual anime and manga. So no, that doesn't give it a pass. But the thing is, I don't understand why you're not complaining about that. But you're complaining about this.
Yep.
You're complaining about Iron Fist. A character who's actually, if you go by what you say you love, is they're actually doing it right. But I guess y'all don't like Ghost in the Shell that much, I guess.
Or they just don't know anything about, they don't know anything about Marvel.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter. That honestly doesn't matter. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Me personally, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to watching Iron Fist tomorrow. I'm hoping that it's good. I want my Heroes for Hire season coming from Netflix. I really do. And I don't agree with it. Would be different. I would be more apt to listen to critics if they were actually able to watch the whole thing, but they weren't. And this is coming from somebody who saw a critic review of Luke Cage and they claimed it was too black.
Yeah.
To which I replied to that reviewer, I hope you don't go see Black Panther. Your head gonna bust. If you think this is too black.
Like they're in Harlem, which is a predominantly black community.
Yeah.
And the show is too black.
And the show was too black. They didn't like the music. Well, then it ain't for you then, is it?
That's personal preference. That doesn't have any bearing on the quality of the show.
Me personally, I enjoyed the musical acts because that soundtrack is boss. But
Yes,
that's just me. You want to know why? I can relate to it. I like that kind of music. I'm a general lover of music, though, so my musical tastes have actually varied and wide. But that being said, to claim something is too black, really? It's set in Harlem.
That's why I made the comment
Black Panther is actually set in Africa.
This is why I made the comment about making Luke Cage white.
Yeah,
a poor white dude. He could have blended in the same way.
Yeah,
still wouldn't have been the same person. His actions would have been different, and his thought process would have been slightly different.
And they wouldn't have been able to actually touch on the issues that they touched on.
No, they couldn't have.
There's no way they could have.
I mean, they could have definitely touched on issues with being in poverty class and lower class like that, but they couldn't have dealt with certain racial
There's a couple of glaring issues in the Luke Cage season that I'm sorry, you have to be black to understand it. You probably wouldn't understand it if you're not black.
Hell, at this point, there's some people that are black that wouldn't understand it.
Don't get me
tied up in the internet.
Don't get me started on them people. But that's one of those situations where, you talk about social commentary and all that. Okay, that's one that actually has that one, and Jessica Jones probably have the deepest social commentaries of the Netflix shows. I don't understand why, people don't get mad at Daredevil when, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping that it does well. I have read a couple of those reviews, and I will say this in closing. Every one of the Marvel series have lull episodes in them. That's why I think that 13 episodes is personally too much for them, because there are always like 3 or 4 episodes that feel like filler. But if they did that first and the back half is actually good, I'm fine, because you know what you're getting into with the Netflix shows. And who knows, it might suck. It might really do suck. I'm hoping that it don't, but it might. But you can't say nothing until you watched all of it. Yes. Not just 6 episodes. You got to watch the whole thing. Because a lot of them critics were praising Luke Cage, and they only got to see the first 6 episodes. But then when they saw the back half, they were mad because of something that happened in Luke Cage. I'm not going to spoil it for people who probably haven't watched it, but they were upset because it felt like it was uneven, and they felt like certain things should not have happened. So you don't know how this is going to go. And a lot of people that were doing reviews were actually, the reviews they spent like half of the page talking about the casting. They didn't even talk about the damn series. So if you're going to talk about the casting, I already know where your review is going. You're not going to be fair. So Andre, I'll let you wrap this one up because I'm spent. And Andre's not back yet. I guess he had to run for a second. But I guess I'll be having to wrap this up a little bit then. So, and that being said, it looks, the other thing that I'm probably going to be mad about is I did read on Screen Rant that they're not going to have the dragon in there. I was actually looking forward to the dragon. Shao-Lao. Apparently it's not in there. Apparently they had to do something else, but for budgetary concerns. Personally, what I would have did, if I couldn't have had him in there, I just would have did an animated sequence and just did it like that. I would have got creative. I probably would have did an animated episode, just got creative and just been like, you know what? Okay, so we can't literally do it live action. Let's have him tell the story of how he got his powers, do the origin as something animated. That probably would have worked into the budget anyway. Technically. And it probably would have came out good, So that's one of the few things that I've read. I'm like, okay, well, that's unfortunate because I actually want to see the dragon. But if they're gonna find a way around that, okay, fine, I guess. I guess that's just something I had to deal with. I kind of figured it was gonna probably be something crazy because of the simple fact that apparently they don't spend much on these budgets for the Netflix shows, and they probably had to push most of their budget probably going to be spent on the Defenders anyway. Seeing as how that's supposed to be the big team up one anyway. So it is what it is. Andre, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. I will let you wrap up since I'm pretty much done talking.
Well, I basically just agree with everything that you said. I want people to be able to get their representation, but I also want them to respect what's already been out and get to know what's already there. And not criticize something unjustly because, hey, this isn't what I prefer, over this isn't what it should be. But that's about it. That, and for more people to actually get to know the source material before they start spewing bullcrap.
Yeah, because if you would actually know some of the source material, maybe we could have got rid of Bryan Singer off them X-Men movies. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I probably did. That being said,
yes, you did.
That being said, I'm hoping people watch it and at least give it a chance. I will be doing a review. Me and T have planned to do a fresh take on season 1 of Iron Fist when we get a chance. So I just gotta, once we watch it, because like I said, I took off Friday to watch it, so I'm gonna probably try to get in all 13 episodes tomorrow. More than likely I should be able to do it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Thank you for watching as always. And I'll see you guys on my next vid. Dre, you got anything You want to pimp out or anything?
Not just yet. Just everybody have a nice day.
All right. Catch y'all later, peoples. Peace.
Peace out.